X-ray off, X-ray on. All the main important icons that are needed is also listed on the Maya starter guide on D2L, and I think it's also on the W drive, I think, but for sure it's on D2L too. Anyway, anything important you need is listed there. This, you want this on, multi-sample anti-alias, and this, and then Alt 5 for wireframe unshaded, Alt 5, which is also this. So I grabbed the guy. I'm gonna press R for scale, and going back to why we added more lines, more faces, is because in order to make any of these details, you need a starting baseline with a certain amount of lines and faces. We call this adding resolution ahead of time. Yeah. Okay, so I did that. I need to go and then have it selected. I'm gonna go into changing this into animation, changing the menu, and then I'm gonna go into deform, sculpt. So deform, sculpt for the animation menu, deform, sculpt with the cube selected, boom. So this is a little nifty trick that 3D artists do, where this little sculptor one and that thing, the whole thing that I did, it adds this green little circle, spacebar, press F. I'm gonna click on the X-ray. It adds this sculptor. What it does is that it bulges out the outer wireframe to make it fit more snug like a sphere. It's like what you call a modifier. Anyway, so with the sculptor selected, I'm just gonna go spacebar in here. I'm gonna hide the ortho image for now, and then I'm gonna undo that. Select the mesh, press 3. It's a better way of seeing it. Select the sculptor again. And if I were to, you do not have to do this. I'm just trying to show an example. Right. I'm squeezing it down. This is what I want to show. Right now it looks more blocky, right? And hence the reason why I'm putting on the sculptor. So this is the default size. It made it noticeably more spherical. So all that blabbering was just to put this point across, that the sculptor thing. I believe Blender has something equivalent, but you don't have to jump through some of these hoops to make it look like this. Alright, so this is also very clever way of character modeling or organic modeling, because it's all four-sided. So since that's done, next thing I need to do is I'm gonna turn off the X-ray for now. It's a really nice circle, which is great. I need to select the mesh. You can see here's a sculpt 1, which is the sculptor modifier, but I need to delete the history because this thing is live. See, it will wreck the mesh. So I need to select the mesh. I need to delete history. I need to wipe out all of this, and it will keep this intact. Right now I am explaining basically the basic inner workings of how construction history works in Maya. It's important for me to mention it. So I select the mesh, and then I'm gonna go hit this, delete by type history, boom. And the sculptor one is gone on that little, also the other locator looking thing, that green cross thing is gone, and the history, construction history is wiped out, and that sculptor modifier is embedded into the mesh permanently now. So this is the basic workings of how, like I said before, Maya works in terms of construction history and modifying tools and blah 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 blah. So yeah, from here, you know what, I'm gonna want the move gizmo to be centered for now. So in my intro videos I talked about center pivot. Again, this is the center pivot. So previously I had it down here, but now you know what, I changed my mind. I just want to have it centered since it's a sphere. Turn on the orthographic image. And the orthographic image is about what, 1.868. I'll just make it 2 even. Just make it 2. Keep it simple. Hide the grid. This is the front. I'm gonna just place it, I don't know, right around here, the widest point ish. Press R. Right. Press 1 for the low poly mesh instead. And I'm gonna pull from the center cube like so. I can press 3 and just to get a feel for it. Right around there is probably okay. This midline, I'm just gonna leave it as is. Right around here. I just want to make sure that the center mass is proportionally aligned. Yeah, there you go. Get something like that. So that's like what, 4.2, or just make it 4. You know, maybe 4.25. Yeah, 4.25. That should do it, I think. Alright. And then from there, I'm gonna save it. Control Shift S. 04. Okay. Alright, so I want to make this little tail, this little nub looking thing down there. I kind of teardrops like that a bit. But for now, I think maybe it might be a bit too big. Press 3. Yeah, just, I don't know, man. Make it 4.2 maybe. Maybe 4. Yeah, maybe 4 instead. Yeah, I'll leave it at 4. I'm just worried about not having enough space down here. Okay. Alright, so I paused the video for a short bit. I'm gonna select the mesh. I'm in my front. I'm gonna go to clicking on the modeling toolkit. Another useful side note is a lot of times when students are first learning, they'll accidentally press B as in Bob. That is your soft selection under the modeling toolkit, B as in Bob. It happens because I guess maybe the B is nearby the space bar. Anyway, so that's B as in Bob. If I press B as in Bob again, it toggles it off. I'm gonna turn it back on. What I'm gonna do is set this to, like, say 4. I'm gonna right click on it, set it to vertex. And then I'm gonna just go in here, zoom in. I'm gonna do a marquee drag like that. and then this shows that this is the gradient of influence. Right now it's set to 4. If I pull on it, let's see, it does that. Maybe I'll set it to 5. It's set to volume. Could be surface, whatever, but volume is the default. I have it set to 5. Now it has a bit more influence, like this. Spacebar. Press 3. Press B as in Bob to get out of the tool. Right click, hold it, and wing it over to object mode to get out of it. Click outside. It's my front. So far it looks alright. This is slightly different approach than my original, so that's why right now I'm a little bit hesitant. Just try to make it easier or more streamlined. From here, okay, so we got that. Press 3 or 1. I wanna make this. So right click face mode, hold it, and right click, hold, and face mode, and then spacebar, and then probably gonna grab this. Press. I like to press Q to hide the move tool because it gets in my way. I'm gonna grab this, and then this. I'm gonna turn on Object X symmetry so we can make faster selection. Again, Object X. There. So I grabbed all of that there. Reason why I grabbed it, and as you can see, why adding more of these resolution faces and lines was needed, because already I'm using faces here that once was not there before, because of the fact that I had to go in and set the subdivisions to 2, the smoothing, and how now you can see why those faces were needed. So here I'm gonna do extrude face, Control Shift right, Shift, hold on the Shift, hold on the right mouse button, extrude face. There you go. And then I'm gonna spacebar. I'm gonna make this smaller. Right here. Okay. So right now the gizmo is here. I want to turn off the symmetry for now, because see now the gizmo shows it's all of its little knickknacks because the symmetry was turned off. Sometimes they will conflict each other, so I turned it off. Anyway, I don't want to pull like this, you know, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, you know, none of that really matters. I'm just gonna press W for the move tool, which is the default tool. But as you can see, the extrude function is still alive, see? And you could just yank it out because the tool is still active. Okay, I just yanked it up. Just highlight it. Okay. So let's say, you know, I clicked outside or whatever and I lost it. I can select the mesh, poly extrude face 1, and then press T, and there's your tool again. Right? Yeah, anyway. So I went, press Control Z to go back to here. I'm gonna press 3 just to see how it's gonna look like kinda organically. And then I think I'm gonna, I remember doing this, right? Pressing R, right? Scaling it like that. Press 1. As you can see, this is what it looks like. That's the other reason why I turned off the symmetry, because it can cause headaches, conflicting headaches. So I did that. I extruded it out, and it's pretty blocky. What I'm gonna do is press R, and these cards will come into play. They're called constrained scale. So this card, if I yank on it, it'll pull in on this axis and this axis. Again, you'll notice them moving. Pulls it in like that. But it does not mess with the y-axis. So as you can see, I'm causing it to taper basically. What I'm doing. Off of that extrusion, I flatlined it. Alright, so we did that. Press 3. And opt out of it. Object mode out of it. Alt 5, so you can kind of see what's happening. It's pretty blocky looking. Next thing I want to do is add these lines, right? And in the world of 3D modeling and game art and stuff, the faces should be relatively in the ballpark of kind of similar. See, like this and this. This is called having good control of your mesh, like that. But this is starting to stretch a lot and do some weird skewing over here, right? This was from the original extruding up. And you want it to be balanced like this, these guys, because when you do UV mapping, that also comes into play. UV mapping is laying out the skin of it, the outer skin. Anyhow, so I have this selected. I want it to be even. So I want to do another hotkey, which is holding down, which I'm going to show over here as well. It's not here. So press R, and I double click the edge, double click it to get a quick selection. I'm gonna hold Control. I'm also gonna hold Shift, Control and Shift, right? Control and Shift, and then you can see now it says slide